With all the Nissan R33 400R excitement that's been happening recently, there are a lot of differences here, so let's dive in, figure out how well they did against each other starting right now. So we have ignition model here. This was actually released a couple of months ago, a few months back, but we've got the contender here, the new release guy, INNO64, coming out with their rendition of the 400R. Some of the similarities that we can take care of right now is that both of them are 64 scale, both are diecast metal bodies, both are Nissan R33 GTR NISMO 400Rs. But now let's take a close look and see what those differences are. And here they are finally side by side, and I'm sure that you can already tell some immediate differences. However, what we'll do is we will start with the front end. So looking at the front end of both vehicles, you can see that both are rocking the same exact bumper. You've got some nice headlight details on the ignition model. As you can see, it's got the black housing on there. However, for INNO64, it looks like they took a little bit of a shortcut and they put a sticker over the headlight to try and give it the black housing look. So INNO64 trying to cut some corners there. You've got the front bumper, the front mount intercooler. This one does not have a license plate. You can see a NISMO license plate there, which is pretty neat. You've got the turn signal, the front lip. You've got the grille there with the little GTR logo going onto the hood. It's got the vented hood right there. It's got the two vents there, the big opening right there at the bottom. Now, what's something that you notice right away in terms of the color? Check it out. The INNO64 version is a lot brighter. From pictures that I've seen online though, when it comes to the yellow 400R variant, it definitely looks closer to this color. Now, let's move on to the side. When we're looking at the side of these, both are rocking the 400R sticker, but you can see that it's black here and silver here. I've actually seen both renditions of that on the real life variant of the car. You've got the side skirt here, you've got the turn signal, you've got the GT logo right there. One detail that you will see is underneath the side view mirror, you do see this NISMO sticker. That decal is actually not on the ignition model version, as you can see. One thing about the wheels that stands out to me, INNO64, I don't feel like they accurately represented the wheels of what those NISMO wheels actually look like. However, they do have the decal, they've got the riveting, and they've got the polished lip, and they've got the rubber tires. On the ignition model, you can see that it is properly set up. However, they do not have the NISMO sticker on one of the spokes, and they do look slightly bigger, but it does look a lot nicer, especially when it comes to the fitment and setup. As you can see, this one looks like it's rocking like 15s or 16s. Whereas this one, perfect stance, super nice fitment on those wheels. Everything else looking pretty accurate. You've got the side view mirror here. You've got all the trim, windows, and things like that. Oh, and one thing you'll actually see here, this one does not have an antenna hole. This one, the INNO64 does right there. So a nice little detail add-on. And finally, moving on to the back, you can see the 3-piece spoiler for both pieces, rocking that carbon fiber insert for the center section. Oh, and looking at the rear window, check it out. You've got defrost lines here, no defrost lines there, and it's blacked out to the max. You can't see anything. That's actually the first time I've seen ignition model not do defrost lines, so a little bit of a missed detail from those guys. You've got some NISMO sticker decal details on the INNO64 right there. Nothing on this guy. You've got the Nissan badging, GTR badging, Skyline badging. This one's missing it though. I don't really see it. So INNO64 dropping the ball on that. Pretty cool little license plate here from ignition model, the NISMO 400R. You've got exhaust, rear bumper. And when it comes to the taillights, I would say that the ignition model is lacking a little bit of detail when it comes to the insert on the outside, whereas on the INNO64, you do have the amber clear going on here, and then obviously the 4-round, the taillight insert. So all those plastic, no overlays, no inserts. And on the interior, looks pretty basic, nothing too crazy. The INNO64 rocking some bucket seats, full interior, rear and front. It's got the steering wheel there and things like that. So pretty simple and to the point. For the ignition model, interior also going to be looking the same. However, you can see that the ignition model may have gotten lazy and they didn't do any details on the back because they've got it completely blacked out. Look at that. So they've only got the front details, steering wheel, bucket seats, dash, and little button on the console there. When it comes to pricing for both of these fellas. Typically the ignition model is gonna be anywhere between the 40 to 42 range. And then on the INNO64, you're gonna be looking at the 20 to 24 range. Now, we're gonna have to take these two off their bases and check out that roll test. All right, we've got both of them off their base. So we've got Inno here, ignition here. Let's check out the roll test. Let's start with ignition model. I think a lot of people may already know the verdict on this, so let's go. Ooh, this guy here is slammed to the ground and he is not going anywhere. So ignition model, 10 times out of 10, not spinning. Now we have a INNO64 ready in 1, 2, 3. Woo! It's got some rolling action. Check it out. Hey, look at that, Inno. It looks like they've got a little bit better fitment when it comes to being able to roll. So good job, INNO64 on that. And then we can take a look at some of the details on the base here. Ignition model, keeping it pretty simple, all black. INNO64, check it out. They've got some detail on the exhaust piping, coloring that to make it silver. You can see the Phillips head screwdrivers here. So if you wanted to swap these wheels out for the INNO64 to make it look a little bit more nicer, you could do that. So same goes for ignition model. So my question to you guys, what did you think about the differences between these two? If you were to choose one, which one would you go with? Let me know down in the comment section below and give me a reason why. If you enjoyed this video, you can see some other versus videos that I've done in the next slide. I will see you in that video or my next video.